Hello, we're at the London Stock Exchange studios for another broadcast interview with Business Worldwide magazine. Well, today we're talking to Gustavo Mahler, CEO of AGC Biologics, an innovative biopharmaceutical company with international reach, about what they do and how they've achieved their extraordinary success. Biopharma is an industry that manufactures biological medical products from living sources, whether plant or animal. Biopharmaceuticals is a fast-growing industry, making up about 20% of the global pharma sector and generating revenues of $163 billion. Well, as I say, I am happy to be joined by Gustavo Mahler. Welcome. Thank you for being here today. Now, let's launch in with what your company does. Could you tell me a little bit more?
Absolutely. We are a contract development and contract manufacturing organization, and we are focused on the development and manufacturing of biotechnology drugs. There are different types of drugs in the market. The common drugs like an aspirin that are small molecules. We focus on molecules that are of biologic origin, so normally molecules that you will find normally in the human body, or molecules that are modified from human body molecules. In order to manufacture these molecules, you need to use genetic engineering and create new cells that enable you to produce these products. We have over 60 years of experience doing in this field and 20 years doing development and manufacturing. We are around 850 people worldwide, and we have plants that are doing commercial manufacturing around the globe, in the US, in Europe, and also in Japan. So we have an extensive network that is able to produce these life-saving drugs.
What specific services do you provide?
Well, in order to produce these products, you need to be able to go step by step in the development of them. So the first part is to create a cell line that is able to manufacture the product you want. You create that cell line by introducing in the genome of that cell DNA that actually codifies to the product you want. Once you create a stable cell line that can grow, you create a process at scale that enables you to manufacture this product in very large volumes. And then you need to create a process to purify those products and get them to the level of purity that can be accepted in a human body. We develop all these processes step by step, and we have some proprietary technologies to do that, from the cell line development up to the point that we get the product. That capability obviously enables us to then supply clinical trials, and later on, if the product is approved, we can supply the commercial product that patients will take.
And what would you say makes your company unique?
Well, we have several areas where we are unique. One of those is we are very focused on the technologies and innovation in our space. Those technologies and innovation enable us to accelerate the process of development and develop multiple drugs at the same time. That helps us to supply the products in the right quality, but also ensure that we can manufacture them in a reliable way. And in addition, we actually really believe on partnering with our customers and supporting them, not only on getting the product to clinical trials, but to market in the fastest way possible, but also in a compliant way. We also do a couple of investments in technology and in facilities that enable us to have a very practical approach to manufacturing of these drugs.
So really, you are being fairly modest, but your company does help save people's lives ultimately.
Yes, absolutely. The drugs we develop are mainly for very complex diseases, some of those chronic diseases of genetic origin. And most of these diseases are diseases that otherwise you have these treatments, you will not be able to survive, basically. Drugs like insulin, or drugs for hemophilia, or drugs for cancer are the type of drugs we developed. And this field of biotechnology has enabled a lot of patients to now live normal lives that before had very short life expectancies. So we are in the forefront of developing many of these drug treatments that actually help patients to live longer and in some cases survive very, very complex diseases.
So what are the benefits then to biopharmaceutical products?
Well, biopharmaceutical products are a new generation of products. Conventional pharmaceutical products are chemical entities, small chemical entities that were identified have an effect on the body. In the case of biopharmaceutical products, the products are actually modeled and searched based on normal functions in the body. For example, antibodies that you use to fight disease, like infections or cancer. So those antibodies are generated by your body. Sometimes you generate the proper ones and you get cured, and sometimes you don't and you die. So these technologies enables you to create those antibodies in an artificial form using cells that grow in reactors. So we can actually administer those antibodies to a cancer patient to facilitate the treatment, or administer a coagulation factor to a patient that does not produce it, and that way they can have a normal life and not be afraid of bleeding to death. So the industry is very complex, because in order to manufacture these very large molecules, we don't use classical chemistry, but what we use is genetic engineering. We put DNA inside the cell adopts that DNA, produces the product, and then we produce that in very large scale and purify that product. And what we obtain is a product that's very similar to the one circulated in your veins, but helps you to treat either a chronic condition or cancer or immune disease. So as I said, this technology is relatively new. Technology has emerged in the last 20 years. And in the last years, thanks to the gene mapping and all the other technologies, is actually exploding and offering a lot of treatment opportunities for patients.
Right, I see. What would you say has been your most important achievement to date?
Well, I would say that being one of the first CMOs to get an approval for a breakthrough designation by FDA. A breakthrough designation is a designation FDA provides to customers when they see that a drug is really needed in the market and they need to get the product fast. What it meant for us as a service provider is that we needed to use all the technology tools that we have in our toolbox to get our customer to have the product on time, to supply that for clinical trials, but also for commercial supply. So we actually did a huge effort as a company, working side by side, implementing new technologies like high throughput technologies, like single-use technologies, so we could actually get the approvals as fast as possible and get the treatment to patients that, in this case, were in life or death situation.
You are President and CEO of AGC Biologics. So what values guide you in that role?
Well, I'm passionate about science and biomanufacturing, and I instill that in the organization. We really have passion for what we do. We also work side by side with our customers as partners to bring the product to market, and we take that as seriously as the product would be ours, because we understand that those products have the ability to save lives. And that's something that we reinforce with all our employees, that actually we are not just producing anything, but producing products that are life-saving. We also have a passion for implementing technology and being first in many of those aspects, and ensuring that our facilities are compliant and reliable, so we can always supply on time to our patients. Our tagline is actually right on time. That means ensuring that we do that the right way and we deliver exactly when we said that we will deliver.
Talking of time, 2018, what are your plans for the rest of the year and in the future?
Well, in 2018, we acquired a new headquarters in our US operation. That headquarters will host the global operations, but also provides a footprint for us to expand our capabilities in the US. It provides us actually with capacity expansion possibilities that will enable us to grow in the next 5 or 6 years in the US market. In addition, we are also doing investments in Denmark, in our facility in Copenhagen, where we are adding capacity, almost 3 times the capacity we had. That capacity will enable us to supply commercial product for new treatments that are coming online. And we are also expanding our labs, testing labs in Germany, so we can supply more customers from the German facilities. Last, we are also expanding, doing significant expansion in Japan. We are actually creating new labs and to offer larger services in Japan, with the aim to be the largest CMO in the Japanese market. So the last part is an investment in the future. Is creating a research and development lab. We are starting that in the US that will explore new technologies that will do two things. One is will accelerate time to market and also will reduce the cost of operation. And that will be critical to be able not only to have a highly profitable operation, but also to pass along some of those savings to our customers and patients.
So a lot of work and important work that you're doing. Gustavo Mahler from AGC Biologics, thank you very much for joining us and good luck with everything, the very hard work in the future. Thank you.
Thank you.